International success coach and noted author Constance Arnold delivers life-changing strategies through her own spiritual practices, as well as with best-selling authors and experts she interviews. Think, Believe, and Manifest is specially designed to empower your mind and your words to work for you and to bring about the life you've been dreaming of. And now, here's Constance Arnold.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome to the Law of Attraction Radio Network. And of course, I am Constance Arnold, host of the Think, Believe, and Manifest talk show on the Law of Attraction Radio Network. Guess what? I'm so grateful that you have joined me today from all over the world. And as I say every week, it is definitely a setup. The Spirit of God has attracted you here and actually set you up so that you can receive the inspiration, the motivation, the knowledge, and the revelation that you need so that you can easily and step by step begin to apply universal principles to shift, to alter, and to radically change your life. Well, how are you doing? I hope that you're having a great day no matter what you are doing or no matter what part of the world at this very moment you are listening to the show. Man, I am hearing from people from all over the world, from the UK. I want to give a special shout out to all of my listeners in the UK. I received so many emails from you, and of course, Australia down under, from Sydney and Melbourne, just getting all kind of emails from all of you great people in Australia, and of course, all of my faithful listeners in the US. I'm so grateful for you being in my life. You are, in fact, a part of my family. Well, it's a beautiful day here in Atlanta. It's cold but sunny. I guess about 60 degrees, and just enjoying this beautiful day. As a matter of fact, I am sitting in my office looking out of my window, and I am just beginning to see small hints that spring is just around the corner. I was walking in my neighborhood earlier this week, and I noticed that some of the trees were getting little buds on their branches. And so no matter what time of year it is for you, it is your time now. Well, today I'm going to be interviewing Peter Adams, and we're going to be talking about how to, and you know I love the how-tos, how to ask, believe, and receive. And we're going to break it down so that you can take these principles and start using them today. Okay, so I have a couple of things I want to remind you of. My assistant reminds me every week, Constance, don't forget to tell people to connect with you via Facebook and Twitter. Of course, you know, I put all kind of great information and just inspiration during the week, so you can connect with me via Facebook and Twitter. And also another reminder, make sure that you go to the Law of Attraction Radio Network website and click on the LOA magazine. Wow, Jules has just done a phenomenal job with the Law of Attraction magazine. It's awesome. And so make sure you go and take a look at that. It will just give you great insight and great revelation. You know, sometimes just my personality, I guess, I really receive more information when I hear something and then I read it. So if I'm listening to a recording or a podcast, I will listen. But after that, I'm going to listen again, and I'm going to take notes and extract from that what I feel really resonates with me. And that's what you can do with the magazine. I'm sort of old school. I like to read and I like to listen. So I guess it's according to your personality, but make sure you check that out. also would love to coach with you, just coaching with people all over the world. I currently coach with people on all 6 continents. So no matter where you live, that is not a problem. We can Skype, and time is not even an issue. And lastly, I want to remind you about my affirmations. Whenever you are speaking, words are shifting and changing your subconscious. That words, each word that you speak has a frequency. And when you're speaking affirmations, what you're doing is you're speaking a new frequency, into your situation. And you already know that things respond to your words. And so every word you speak has a different frequency. That's what's in your life currently, and it affects things. And so one way that you can do that is every day get up and work with affirmations. And I have affirmations on prosperity, on success, on self love, on attracting love. And so many people say, wow, I just love your affirmations because, you have such a soothing voice. And that's just really the gift of God on the inside of me. And lastly, I'm almost there. If you would like for me to coach you live on the air, in the area of love, attracting love, or the current relationship that you are in, possibly you're married or you're in a long-term relationship that isn't working for you, or you want to really enhance or really bring more happiness or receive more happiness in the relationship that you are currently in. And of course, if you coach with me, you would have to be willing to be honest and vulnerable and open on the air. So if you're interested in doing that, email me at Constance at fulfillingyourpurpose.com, and make sure you send me your contact information. Well, are you ready? And one of the mission statements that I first wrote down about my radio show was that I wanted to present the same principle to people in as many ways as possible until they actually got it. And so maybe many of you might be saying, well, I've read The Secret and I've heard so much on Ask, Believe, and Receive. But my question to you is, what's in your life? And if you want to shift and change what's in your life, or increase and bring more abundance, prosperity, and purpose in your life, you need to stay tuned, because after these quick commercials, I'm going to be right back with Peter Adams. Stay tuned.
You're listening to Law of Attraction Radio Network, enhancing the well-being of millions of listeners worldwide. LOARadionetwork.com is heard through 25 different internet radio stations, as well as iTunes Radio, Stitcher.com, and our mobile apps. The Law of Attraction Radio Network, your trusted source of daily inspiration, at LOARadionetwork.com. Are you ready to create the life of your dreams? Imagine partnering with a coach that can help you manifest extraordinary success. Constance Arnold has been a licensed therapist and coach for over 25 years and has successfully worked with more than 10,000 clients. Constance will help you clarify your goals, eliminate self-defeating beliefs, and create strategic plans to manifest your dreams. Constance offers a variety of coaching packages: pay-as-you-go, half-yearly, and yearly coaching. Contact Constance today for guaranteed coaching that produces extraordinary and permanent results. For more information, go to fulfillingyourpurpose.com.
Well, I am back, and guess what? I am so excited about my guest today. My very special guest for the 4th time, I do believe, is Mr. Peter Adams. And Peter is a teacher and a manifester with the Law of Attraction, and he's the author and creator of the Visualization System. And I just love having Peter on because he is not just an author, but he's actually living this life utilizing the law of attraction. So today we're going to be sharing with you how to ask, how to believe, and how to receive. So, Peter Adams, welcome back again to the Law of Attraction Radio Network.
Thanks so much, Constance. It's great to be on your show again. I'm really excited about today's topic and getting to share the information with everyone.
Well, I feel like I think I've said on one of my shows that I've just adopted you and your lovely wife, Robin. And I always tell you, Pete, that Robin makes you look good. So she's behind the scenes. You're in front, but she makes you look good. Of course, you know that, right?
Oh, absolutely. And I couldn't do it without her. Real world, especially on the visualization system self study guide. She just did an amazing job on that, and she's the reason why the stuff looks good. That's all I can
Yeah,
say.
she's awesome. And so let's just go ahead and get started, Pete, because we have a lot to cover. And you're walking this out every day. You're not just writing about it. You're not just talking about it. You're living it. And I wanted you to come on the show again and just sort of break it down for us. Okay?
My pleasure, Constance.
Okay.
My pleasure.
So, Pete, I get a lot of emails from people, and I've been in this position myself many, 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 many decades ago. And, everybody wants a more fulfilling life and they want more love and prosperity. But many people are feeling stuck. So, what would you say to people right now who may feel really stuck in their current circumstances?
Sure thing, Constance. If you feel stuck right now, you just don't feel good. It's your higher self telling you that you're not doing something right, and you need to basically you're doing something wrong. You're not happy, and you're here to be happy. So if you're feeling that way, it's a clear sign that you're ready for a change. And that's the biggest thing is just recognizing it and not I call it settling. Don't if you're not feeling happy in that relationship or that job you're currently in, you need to get out of it. Again, because you're only going around once, and if you're unhappy, it's going to be a long life, and it's not going to be that too much fun.
Right. And Pete, I believe that our feelings or that feeling of feeling stuck is really the God saying to us, okay, you were not created to live like this, etc.
Exactly. If that wasn't the case, you wouldn't have that feeling. Your feeling is really just an early warning system that's basically telling you that you need to change things because if you're not feeling good, something's obviously wrong, and the only person who can do anything about it is you. You need to take ownership of your own life and your reality and make changes.
Right, right. And it's not a judgment, it's just an awareness of something is not right. I was created for something higher. I was created for a bolder, a more exciting and prosperous and fulfilling life. So we're going to be helping people today. So, Pete, in your book, Visual Festation, you shared with the readers, and I've read it many times and reread it again this week, about you had so many miracles to manifest. And so are you like a guru or something, or can all of us normal people begin to accomplish and manifest those kinds of miracles?
Constance, every single person on this planet has the same abilities that I have. I just got tuned into it and worked with it and created what I call the visual festation system. And it's like if you follow the system, it's kind of like following a recipe for making a cake. If you put the ingredients in, and use your, take ownership of it and get serious. That's the biggest thing I see is a lot of people want to they kind of like dabble in it. And the reason I get results and I've had the miracles manifest in my experience is because I do this every single day. That's the difference. And if everyone else would do the same thing that I'm doing, they will have the miracles in their lives. It's just by law. I'm not anyone special. I just happen to take it a lot more seriously than most people.
Right. And I think the principle that we really want to get across to people today, Pete, is that it's a universal law that will work for anyone who will work it. Sometimes we see people like, oh, know, all of those great people in The Secret, or, they're smarter than I am. But it doesn't matter what your gender is, what your race is, whether you're rich or poor, what your size is, what country you live in. If you tap into these universal laws, and my prayer is that when you hear Pete share exactly how to do that, you can change your life. And to me, that's exciting.
Oh, absolutely, Constance. The biggest thing is everyone they usually start right off the bat with limiting beliefs. Just like what you just said, it's like, oh, I can't because I'm the wrong sex. I can't because I live in a country that's poor. That's just nonsense. You're just telling yourself. It's like you're giving yourself an excuse rather than giving yourself a hand up and and going for it. I mean, it's like you just have to stop telling you that. Stop having that self-talk because it's just negative and it's not empowering you whatsoever.
Right. So our self-talk during this show is I can. So let's start with the first principle, Pete. Let's talk about that whole principle of asking.
Okay, love to, Constance. The asking piece for me really is it's for each listener on this show is really about deciding what it is that you want to be, do, or have. Because that's the most important thing. Because you need you need a target to be able to hit it with the arrow, and the universe is the one that's going to shoot the arrow for you and guide it into the target. So one of these things that a lot of people they never really sat down and figured out what they really truly wanted, and you have to do that because this is serious stuff. We're talking about your life, and it's seriously important to do this piece. And once you come up with the what you really want to have or be or do with your life, and then you need to ask yourself why. The why is just as important as the what, because you need to know why exactly you want this thing that you say you want to achieve or have, because if you've got to have passion for it, because the passion it's kind of like the secret sauce. It's like, if you got passion, you're going to easily have energy, you're going to be fired up, and and you're going to it's going to keep you working towards your goal until it shows up. So, the biggest thing is start off with really get down to what it is that you say that you want. Because the biggest thing is, if without a destination, there's no map or GPS system can get you where you want to go, because you got to tell it that where to go. So you say one day I want to be a doctor, the next day I want to be an attorney, the next day I want to be a teacher. I mean, all you're doing is basically just making the universe confused because you're not clear.
Okay, and so when you say setting clear intentions, so should they write it out, or should they just think about it? What would that look like to set clear intentions?
Oh, they absolutely have to be written. You need to be crystal clear. The clearer you can get with your intention, and and knowing why you're going to have this thing, the faster it's going to happen, because you are crystal clear and you're serious. So it's you're giving clear instructions to the universe to help you get what it is you say that you want. And the clearer you are and the more focused you are, and then get into beliefs, it's just going to happen so much quicker. You got to be clear.
Peter, you've really helped me with this. And even though I've always written down my goals all of my life, you really helped me to break down my general goals, and become really, really, really clear about what I want. And that's why I wanted you back on the show. So after, let's just say somebody has really decided, okay, I've written down my intention, I'm really clear about what I want to manifest. What would be the next step in this whole asking process?
It would be to start taking. It would be taking action. It's once you've written down your goals, or whatever the major things you want to have in your life. Then the next part is, I call it the co-creator piece, where you basically you decide, you believe you're going to get it, and you start working with the techniques that we use in the visual manifestation system, such as visualizing, using scripting, affirmations, acting as if, it's taking all these principles and committing to doing the work. That's the biggest thing. We can be on the show 100 times, but if you just listen to the show and you don't take the action, which is doing the work, you're not going to get results. I mean, you can listen to 1,000 podcasts and you might be the expert on it, but you're not doing anything with it.
Right, and action is so important. And I had a listener email me, and I forwarded you that email, who said that it was your visualization and your book and your being on the show that really helped him to realize that just listening to the show, and God bless everybody who's listening, don't stop. I want you to continue, but that action piece is major.
It's absolutely required. There's no getting around it. You can't just think about it. You've really got to commit and do the work. And I said this 1,000 times. No one can do this for you. If you listen to the show, you have to do it. Your significant other can't do it for you. If your mother can't do it for you, or you can't do it for your children, they can only do it for themselves. And it's the same is true for you.
That's so true. And Pete, I think I asked you prior to the recording earlier this week. I said, Pete, you're so committed. I mean, there have been many times when I didn't have my hour power, but it's my understanding that, that for years you have really just made a decision and a commitment to just do your hour power every single day. That's real commitment.
Oh, it is, Constance, and what it is too. It's not. I don't view it as work. I might use the terminology. You got to do the work, but when you're doing this stuff, when you're doing these exercises, they're fun. And the best thing is, I don't miss it. I don't miss a single day of doing the work that I do with visualizing, because I love it and I get results. So why would I stop doing it? It's just like I'm not. I'm still in manifest mode. I got stuff out there. I got my written goals and I'm working towards them every single day. The biggest thing is, like, I think the best analogy I could give anyone is where I do my hour of power every single day. It makes it every single day I get closer to manifesting my miracle. It's just like reeling in a big fish on a boat. It's like, if you stop reeling, well, the fish is not going to get any closer to the boat. He's not going to swim up and jump in the boat. You got to do your part, and that's turning the reel, and that's doing the work.
That's so true. And everybody needs miracles. I mean, when you look at the world today, Pete, we all desire miracles financially, maybe physically, maybe attracting love or starting a new business. And I love it when you said that you don't consider it as work, that you really just see it as a part of who you are, and this is just a part of the manifestation process. So after people have clear goals and we know what we want, and we're really committed every day to making it work, what would be the next step?
I would probably, from there, Constance, I would get into the techniques that I practice with what I call my visualization system. So now that you've got your goals, and I call them dreams with deadlines. Once all that piece is done, you know why you want it. One of the first things I would do in part of the process. I know people have heard an awful lot about vision boards, especially if you've seen the movie The Secret. And and I was amazed when I saw John Assaraf when he pulled that vision board out of the box he had for so many years. And I do the same thing, and it's kind of wild because I created a board of stuff that I wanted to have in my life, and my board's a mess right now. Half the stuff is pulled off because it already showed up. So once it's done, I take it off the board and put the new stuff on there. And all the vision board is really designed to do, it's to give you what pictures of what it would look like, and you use the vision board and the pictures on it to help you with your visualizations, so they're more lifelike. I think would be the best way to say it. And and one of the things, the major thing that I do, I've had the most success with, is using a technique called creative visualization. And in that, Constance, what I'll do is I'll see what my ideal scene is. What I call my ideal scene, that's if everything I wanted right now all showed up at once, and it was all in my life, what would it look like? And I create a scene like that where I step into my future life and I live it now, and it's and I feel the energy and the joy when I'm in this state of having all these wonderful things. And I mean, it's almost like it gets so real for me that sometimes I'll come out of it and I'll be like, wow, it felt like I had like my own um, heavy duty daydream kind of thing.
Mm.
And the biggest thing is whenever you're doing your visualizations, you're not getting into the house. You're not trying to figure out how it's going to happen. Well, it's already done. So the universe will take care of all the action. You just go right to the end result and get in the joy. Maybe one of your goals is to graduate from college. So you're at your graduation ceremony. They're handing you the diploma, and you're throwing your hat in the air and you're smiling. You're just like you're so happy because you're so proud of what you've accomplished. And you're in that, and you're there. It's not. You're feeling it every fiber of your body, and that is so powerful. And you're putting that energy out there, and the universe is going to send it. It's going to come back, and you're going to get what you say. Whatever you're seeing, you're going to get if you stay with this.
And so, Pete, you're bringing your future into your now. I know you're big on, you are visualizing and feeling and knowing that you have this miracle now.
Absolutely. And for the folks who have read my book, one of the major things that I did with one of my goals was to do the triathlon in Hawaii. It's the Hawaiian Ironman.
Yeah, share with us about that. I want to hear
Oh,
that.
okay. This is an amazing story. After I achieved what was at the time I wrote them with 12 crazy goals, and basically I manifested all these goals that I actually manifested my ideal scene in real world. It took about 3 years, but it all happened, and it was unbelievable to say the least. But then what I did was, after I had all these things, I'm like, okay, this stuff works. Let's put it to the test. What is it? What is it that I really, really, really want to do? And being a triathlete, and I had already done um, 5 Ironmans before this, I decided I'm gonna get into Hawaii. I'm gonna race Hawaii, and because I used to watch the race every year on TV anytime it came on, and it was just so amazing because the now it's actually the world championship of the series, and I'm not the fastest guy in the world by any shot. You know, any I'm not even close to being super fast, but for me to get into the Hawaii Ironman, it meant I was going to need to win the lottery. The World Triathlon Corporation has 200 slots available for people in the lottery, and they're just like normal age. They call them age groupers. Just normal people who happen to be triathletes, and they let 200 people into the race. There's over 10,000 people trying to get in for these 200 slots.
Wow.
And so I knew that if I was going to get into this race, I was going to need to win the lottery. And what I did was I got the 2000. I did the race in 2005. But what I did was for the first 3.5 months, actually no, first 3.5 months, I watched this video probably 4 times a week. But more than that, I raced that race in my mind and visualized it for every single day for the entire 3.5 months. And here's what is crazy. When I was in that race, I'm visualizing what it looked like to be in the swim, what it looked like to be on the bike, and what it looked like to be on the run. And the most amazing thing was what my experience when I did the actual Hawaiian Ironman was so much a match to what I had visualized. It was scary, Constance.
Mm.
It was unbelievable. So I'm telling you, this stuff works like you can't even imagine. It's magical.
And so, Pete, what you're saying is that they only had 200 slots and 10,000 people registered. And so every day for 3 months, first of all, you looked at the Man video, I guess on YouTube or however you were looking at it. And then every day you visualized and you brought that future race into the nowness of your life, just like you had it now.
Absolutely, that is exactly how I did it, Constance. And what I did was I didn't think about how I got in the race. I was just I'm there. I'm in Hawaii and I am in the Ironman, and I crossed that finish line in my mind probably 60 times
Mm.
before the I actually did it for real, in the live version, shall I say. And it was just a great feeling doing it for real. Actually doing it when I did the actual race and finished it, across the finish line. It was so powerful. And the biggest thing was I got done with that race and I realized that I created this.
Mm.
I manifested this. This was not some lucky thing. And the way my race played out, it was like so much like my mind's eye had that version. It gives me chills to this day, Constance. I'm
Yeah,
serious.
and I remember you shared with me that there was a helicopter that was hovering over you guys, I guess with the camera, whatever, and you had visualized that in your mind, and then in the actual race, that same scene, the helicopter was hovering over you and saying you were in the Iron Man race. And it was like deja vu. It's like, is this a dream or is this real?
Exactly, Constance.
Mm.
That was the thing that really made me wonder if I was actually alive. I mean, I didn't know if I was, I'd gone to heaven. God was letting me, do the race as part of my heaven experience. But that was the thing that really freaked me out when I was on the bike, because in that DVD that I watched so frequently, and then I visualized being on my bike and a helicopter going over, and that is what happened in the
Mm.
actual race. I mean, it was unbelievable.
Amazing. Well, and so Pete, you utilize all of the tools or the techniques from your visualization system. So, what other tools can you share with people?
Sure. One of the things I do frequently, every now and then, for some reason, I'm not able to get in the zone, I call it, with my visualizations. And sometimes that has to do with, a neighbor mowing the lawn or something like that, some kind of
Hmm.
noise. So what I usually do on those days is I use a technique I call scripting. And what I do in scripting is I basically do the same. It's almost like a on paper visualization exercise. I start off writing. When I do the writing of what I want to achieve, it's already done, and I'm starting off. I'm starting the scripting off with, thank you, Lord. I'm so happy, for this blessing, and then I get right into the feeling of, I write out how great it feels. Let's say it was a ski vacation,
Hmm.
and I'll get into like scripting. It's just like, I am so happy to be out in Colorado on my ski vacation. I absolutely love the way the sun feels on my face. It's a beautiful day today in the Rockies, and I could not be any happy to be skiing here with my wife. And then I just end it with, thank you, thank you, thank you. And it's like I get the same feeling that I get when I'm doing the visualization, but I'm just putting it pencil to paper.
Hmm.
And when you're doing the writing, don't worry about spelling. That's not what it's about. It's about getting in the flow of that feeling, because it's really all about the feeling, and you're just having gratitude now for it being in your experience.
That is so powerful. And I think, Pete, that's awesome because I think it depends on your personality and how you learn and what you respond to quicker. And I know for me, like you, some days I'm a writer, so I love writing and creating pictures with my writing. So I use that same technique, just writing that ideal scene, bringing that scene into the nowness, that future into the nowness of my life through scripting or writing. That's powerful.
It is, and the nowness. I love that, Constance.
I just
That's just
made
what
that
it.
up.
That's. I don't know if that. It's. I'm going to be using it on the next show. I can tell you that. I think that's awesome. Yeah, that's just what you bring into the. You don't need to wait. You don't need to wait to have the feeling of joy and gratitude until it shows up. You can have that feeling right now, and it's gonna have the effect of bringing it into your nowness, as Constance would say, so much quicker. I mean, that's just how it is.
Yeah. And what other techniques do you use, Pete? Because this man, and the reason I have you back on is because you manifested, was it 10 crazy dreams or 12 crazy miracles? Eh,
Oh, yeah. You can call it in the book. We call it 12 crazy goals.
okay,
But
12 crazy miracles or 12 phenomenal goals. And I mean, that just doesn't happen. And so, if that's happening, that means that Pete has tapped into a success system, a manifestation system that all of us can tap into.
absolutely. Yeah, and the biggest thing for everyone listening is I'm just like you. I mean, when I started doing this, it was many years ago. It was probably now it's probably been 15 years.
Hmm.
But when I started doing it, I was in the dumps. I was bummed out. I had been downsized, and I had been basically been laid off, and I didn't find a job that was paying any kind of money, good money like I was formerly making, and I hated my job. I mean, I was miserable. I remember one of the things that I did, because I used to live near the beach, and I would go down to the beach, and before I went to work, and this is so funny because I started calling the job I had, I started calling it my temp job because I knew I was leaving.
Yeah.
And I used to get so frustrated when I had to pull myself off of the beach to go to the job I hated to be in. And that is what prompted me to, get serious about making these crazy changes in my life. And this is how I developed this personal visualization system. This is stuff that I developed, used myself, and got amazing results. And you can use it too, and you will get the same results if you stay with it, do the work, and believe it to be true. That's probably the biggest thing I have as an advantage over somebody who hasn't started doing this yet is I know it works. I know it works like the sun coming up every day. It's not even. I don't even. It's not. It's like beyond trust. I mean, it's
Hmm.
just and that when you get to that state, you're unstoppable. Seriously.
So it's so true. And that's why the rich get richer because they have a system that they tap into, a way of thinking, a way of doing things, a way of being, and the poor get poorer. And so that's why all of you all over the world, you should be saying hallelujah because you can take these same principles and really create miracles in your own life. And I
Absolutely.
think
And
that's the
that
truth.
right. And you really tapped into something there when you said the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. It's not because the rich are taking the money away and exploiting you. It's because you believe that you're poor and because you're poor, you're going to get poorer. Well, guess what? You get what you think. So stop thinking that way and you'll get out of that poverty mindset. You've got to accept the fact that what you believe is creating your reality. And if you don't like your reality, it's time for you to change your beliefs of how things work. And you can, and work with the universe. I mean, it's like, you're your own miracle machine. You just need to know how to use it.
Yeah, I love that. Okay, I love that corn phrase, miracle machine. I'm going to use that, Pete. I love that.
I, I think that actually might be better than nowness. I'm not sure. No, that just came out. That was beautiful.
Yeah. And so, Pete, what other techniques can people begin to use in their lives?
Sure. I think the best way to describe this one, I call it as if, and it's think as if, speak as if, and act as if.
Hmm.
So basically, you know, I, to me, and this is something I came up with. I thought was great. It's like when I was a kid, we used to play make believe, like
Mm-hmm.
cowboys and Indians or whatever. And here's the thing I realized is, your life is made based on your beliefs. So it's just like, whatever you have right now, whatever your situation is, wherever you find yourself, you're there because of what you believed. And if you change your beliefs, you're going to change your reality. And you can't have it all. I mean, you're not taking it away from anyone else. The universe is constantly expanding. The more you have, the more there is. And what I love about being on, especially being on your show, Constance, is you've got such a great audience around the globe. And it's like I love getting those emails from people saying, they listened to the show, they bought the book, they did the work, and bam, miracles are showing up.
So, Pete, give me an example of what it would look like if somebody was acting as if or pretending.
Okay, the essentially, it's like you get into the feeling of it actually being real and being in the nowness, as Constance would say. I love that word. Okay. Well, and probably the best example I can give anyone is an example that I saw somebody else do, and I know they were in the moment. There was a guy. He was on a motor scooter, but he was dressed up like he was a motorcycle, like a biker, like with the wallet, the big chain,
Mm-hmm.
the jeans, the boots. He had the jacket on. He had the bandana around his head, the sunglasses, and I know he was totally in the zone of being as if. When he was cruising on that road, he was not on that scooter. In his mind, he was absolutely driving a Harley Davidson. It was just so clear to me, and I wish I got a picture of it because he was there. He was there, and I have no. This is about 2 or 3 years ago. I have no doubt in my mind that that guy today has his Harley Davidson, and the feeling that he gets from riding it right now is the exact same feeling he had acting as if years before. I mean, that's the best example I can give anyone. So just get in the mindset that is true. Like say, like going back to the example of being a college graduate. I am a college graduate. You don't need, you can get in that state of mind of it being true now and have gratitude now. You don't need to wait till you pick up the diploma. That's the point I'm trying to get across.
Okay. And so, Pete, you have manifested all kind of miracles, houses, businesses, money, peace of mind. I think one of your goals was to have a powerful marriage and all of
Oh,
this. So you have created all of those, manifested all of those.
yes, yes, and the thing too is it's not like you get done with it, Constance. That's the thing too. Is it's like once that goal shows up, or whatever it is you say that you want shows up, well, it's just like, okay, great. Now what's next? Because we're really just manifesting machines, and it's just like you know. There's no such thing as having too much good in your life. I mean, so and don't feel guilty about it. You earned it. Don't, some people have this idea that, if I've got something, somebody else doesn't have it. No, we all have everything we need, and we can all manifest everything we want.
So
So,
true.
yeah.
And I know you and Robin are really big on, just really giving to others and helping and, just being very philanthropic and just really shifting and changing the lives of others. And so I tell people just to think about yourself in manifestation, God has a bigger, a bolder, a brighter, a higher vision for your life than just you and your family.
Oh, absolutely. And the biggest thing that we we get so much joy, and because when we're helping people, like we used to be quite involved with the Challenge Athletes Foundation,
Hmm.
and which is a wonderful cause. And it's just like you're helping somebody else. You just feel good. I mean, it makes you instantly feel good, and it's just like we're hooked on that feeling. I love feeling good because it's like when you're helping somebody, you're feeling love back. If
Yeah.
when we're doing something to help somebody. We're not doing it to get something. So it just feels great, and it's and like this. It was funny. I was thinking about this earlier. Constance was the way the whole thing works, I know I'm doing what I should be doing now. And I'm wondering did I have to get downsized in 2000 or 2001 to go through these challenges to come up with this technique to have the joy I have now of teaching it and sharing it with others? I don't know. Maybe that's how my whole purpose came around. But
Hmm.
sometimes when you look back, you get to connect the dots. But hey, I'm not worried about how it happened. I'm just blessed that it did happen, and I have
Right.
gratitude.
So true. And so we've really covered asking, I really feel in the in-depth manner, but what about believe? How do we believe? That seems so hard sometimes, Pete, when you're in difficult circumstances and all of your five senses see everything that you don't want. So how would that work for people all over the world?
Okay, this is the best way I can describe it, Constance, is to get into the belief that it is working and it's working perfectly. And I've had this experience before in my life where I'm going for this super big goal. And then it seems like the opposite is happening. But sometimes the act. Let's say your car breaks down. Well, rather than saying, "Oh shoot, my car breaks down, I'm not going to be able to get to my dream job." Let's say you're going to an interview. Well, the reason that your car broke down is the universe is telling you in an indirect way that that's not the right job for you. That's why that car broke down. That's not an accident. It was a reason behind it. And the reason is because the universe has got the dream job you really want that you didn't even know was out there. That's how it works. That's how it's worked in my life. And I just stay out. I just stay out of the house. I know the universe is doing it, and it's just I don't need to worry about it. So the biggest thing is the believing piece is to not doubt that it is working, because when you doubt, you delay. So you're creating resistance for the miracle to come into your life anytime that you doubt or question whether it is or it isn't. So if you can stay out of it's probably not the easiest thing to do, but it's part of the system, shall we say? It's
So
like
true. So,
uh,
true. And Pete, I know that you were sharing with me that you believe for one of your miracles for 4 years. And I questioned you like a Philadelphia lawyer. I said, okay, Pete, be honest. Are you telling me that for 4 years you never doubted, that for 4 years you visualized and believed that you had this particular miracle now? So, I mean, is that true?
yes, it is. And one of the things that got me was the longer it was taken for me to manifest this goal over a 4 year period, it just told me that I've got to get better at doing what I do, or it's taken longer to show up than it should. What am I thinking incorrectly?
Hmm.
So am I doubting it? Am I doing the work? Because the it took a while, but it wasn't like it was work. It was fun. It was just like the idea that I when I made that goal, it was after I had already done Hawaii. And and the thing too is, the bigger you set your goals, well, the more you need to go big or go home.
Yeah, I love that. And so, Pete, I know you've had difficult times and things, circumstances where you could have quit, caved in, and given up, in business and probably personally. So what was it in you? Did you just say, I know this thing is working? What is that in you? And how can other people tap in that within themselves?
The biggest thing on that, Constance, and for everyone who's listening, is you've got to have self confidence. You've got to you've got to believe in the God that you are. It's like, it's like you can create anything, and if things, I mean, we went through the Great Recession. I mean, our business was real estate,
Hmm.
and we had Florida real estate, so it was just like it was almost like the world is crashing all around you, and we trying to, what is going on. But by staying with it, thinking about, our ideal scene, we got through it. We got through the other side, and it's just like, it's life. Once you start getting complacent, my this is what I found. Once I think I'm super comfortable, I don't need to do the work anymore.
Hmm.
That's when the challenges start showing up again, because the universe is not going to let you sit on the sidelines. It's like, you're going to be an active player whether you like it or not. That's just how it is.
So true. So, and what about receive? I mean, everybody wants to receive and allow. How do we do that? Because sometimes that sounds, just a lot easier than what many people perceive it to be.
the the real receive piece is just be ready for it. I think the whole trick is it's gratitude.
Hmm.
It's gratitude, 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 gratitude. And because you get in the feeling of it already being done, and you're not creating resistance. You're not saying, "Oh, when am I going to get this miracle? Is it ever going to come?" Well, that kind of thinking is you're going to be blocking the receiver that you are. So putting that feeling of gratitude out into the universe, and and having faith and trusting that it's working, that's the receiving piece. And this is what I said before in all the shows with you, Constance, is just before that miracle shows up, you never see it coming.
Mm.
It is like 1 minute you're broke, the next minute you're rich, and it's just like, how did that happen? And then it's just, oh, this is how it happened. I've been working on this thing for 2 years, and it showed up, and I didn't see it coming. So it's really it almost like flashes in, and it's almost like turning a light on in a dark room. One day you're sitting in darkness, and the next day you're in the light, and it's just like, wow, that worked.
That's so awesome. And anybody can do this. I mean, these are universal laws, that if you are consistent and persistent, that you can become co-creators with God in your own life and and begin creating a life of miracles.
Absolutely. Everyone, we're all here to live the life of our dreams. And if you're not living the life of your dreams, it's up to you to change things, because this stuff works. Period. It's like, if you will do what we're talking about and get in the co-creation piece, you're gonna have it. I mean, it's just like it works. It works for everybody. I'm not. It doesn't just work for me because I came up with this thing. I mean, this is like a canned system, but you've got to do your part. You got to have faith, and that's the biggest thing. You got to believe that you can create things, because you can. I mean, whether you believe it or not, it's like you're creating right now with the thoughts that you think. And if you're not in a good situation right now, you've been thinking negative thoughts, and you got negative outcomes. And you change that to positive, and you're going to have positive results.
And so, Pete, so if somebody has really feel like they've really been doing the work and it looks like things are getting worse instead of better, you would say to them, just stay with it.
Stay with it. There was a saying, I think, from the samurai days. It's just like, fasten your chin strap. Get ready for battle. And sometimes you'll get tested. It's just like, it might seem like things are getting real dark, but it's darkest right before daylight. So just stay with it. I mean, because it's like, the more you that you work the system with the universe, the faster you're going to get through these tough times and get to the other side. So you've got never ever ever quit. That will guarantee you failure with everything we've talked about today. You've got to get in the mindset, I'm going to do this or I'm going to die trying. I mean, that's how committed you need to be.
And so, Pete, I know a lot of people email me and said, well, I've been trying to do Pete Adams' Hour of Power, and an hour is just too long for me. How can people begin that? And the Hour of Power is where people use the visualization system techniques. Should they start off with 30 minutes, or what would you suggest?
Well, the biggest thing, it's probably a misnomer, Constance, for me to call it my hour of power.
Mm-hmm.
I got that from Tony Robbins,
Mm-hmm.
because I typically, when I used to spend an hour to an hour and a half at the beach, I would do the exercises first, and then I would just hang out and read motivational books. So you don't need a complete hour. And the biggest thing, what gets me is, oh, I don't have time. Well, if you don't have time to change your life and you won't make time to do it, just shut the program off right now, because you're hopeless until you come around and realize that this is why the most important thing you need to do for yourself in your life.
Right. And I think it was Ernest Holmes who wrote The Science of the Mind, who says that you have to you can hear something, but you have to get a revelation of it and own it and know it. And those are two powerful principles that I want all of our listeners, to really grasp and understand. So, Pete, how can people contact you? How can they get your book? And I love your book. I love the graphics in your book. It's so pleasurable to look at and so easy to utilize.
Oh, thank you so much, Constance. I love when people tell us the book is great. The well, the if you want to visit our website, it's www.peterdadams.com, and that's my name, and my middle initial is D as in Delta, so it's PETERDADAMS.com. And what like we did the last time we were on the show is we're going to offer all the listeners of Constance's show $100 off of our visual manifestation self-study guide. So you can just visit our site, click the buy it now button for the visualization system, and we'll sell it to you for $79. And one of the things we've had is we've got a lot of international people, and these books they're too big to ship to like the other side of the world. So what we did today was we're going to offer our book our self-study guide as an ebook, so we can email it to people as a PDF, and we're going to offer that for today's show at $39. So
Wow.
if 79 is a little too much for you, or if you live in Australia or Africa or someplace, get the PDF version. It's just as nice as the hard copy, and we're here to help you guys. If you guys have questions, email us. We're very accessible.
What's your email address, Peter?
It's a Visual Festation, which is the name of the book, at gmail.com. So that's VISUALFESTATION at gmail.com.
And I'm going to really encourage you, to get either the hard copy or to get the ebook and just begin doing the work. It's a very colorful book. I use it all of the time. Peter, you have really helped me with setting clearer intentions, and I can really say that I believe that I've had some miracles in my life because of your assisting me. And Pete and Robin, they have such a heart for people, and they just really want to serve you. And so go to his website. You're worth that investment. And Pete, you have to invest in yourself, right?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, just imagine the time investment that you're making into yourself. This isn't like a sales pitch. It's just like, you're the most important person in the world. So start treating yourself that way. And I almost forgot that when you get this, if you do decide to buy the self-study guide in either version, we're going to include, for Constance's listeners, the MP3 files for the book Visual Festation, How I Manifested the Life of My Dreams, and you can too. So in that book, it gives you the examples of the stuff Constance and I have been talking about, how I did it, and then into the techniques. And the self-studies guide will walk you through building your own visual festation system for you to use and for you to achieve your miracles.
Pete, that is so generous of you and Robin, and I just really appreciate it because it really will transform and change your life. It's February. I'm talking to all of my listeners, and if what you have been doing is not working, it is the will of God for you to live an abundant, prosperous, and fulfilled life, then you need to invest in yourself and really get Peace Book. So, Pete, any famous last words?
No, just well, just know that all the listeners out there, there's nothing that you cannot be, do, or have. It's up to you, and get started because it's all about you.
It really is. Thank you. You were awesome. Well, once again, this is Constance Arnold with the Think, Believe, and Manifest Talk Show. So grateful that you've joined me from all over the world. And, of course, you can email me at constance@fulfillingyourpurpose.com. And, of course, my website is fulfillingyourpurpose.com. And as I say every week, and, someone told me, Constance, many times when I hear you say, I love you, I haven't heard that all day long. So I just want to say to you, God loves you. I love you. And guess what? The best is yet to come. You better believe it.
Thank you for listening to Think, Believe, and Manifest. Constance will be back next week with another inspirational show. For more information, go to fulfillingyourpurpose.com or send Constance an email at constance@fulfillingyourpurpose.com.